Hey everybody, it's Jenna Allen with Mental Health Today. It's been a few days since I last made a video. I just took a couple days to just kind of, think about, you know, my YouTube channel and just kind of think about what I want to put on my YouTube for the future. I actually have my buddy gave me this amazing psychology book because I am planning on going back to school. I'm going to be taking a psychology course and a mental health course just to kind of get a little bit more information on the whole mental health thing. So today I'm going to do a video on movies to watch when you're single. I'm going to give you at least the movies I've watched when, while being single, and kind of give you the message behind the movie and how it's going to make you feel, because I know that a lot of us girls and guys that are single get a little bit lonely sometimes, and we're like, oh, let's watch a movie to kind of watch a movie, eat ice cream, make yourself feel better kind of thing. So there's a few movies, about 3 or 4 movies that I really recommend watching, and then I'm going to go further into detail about just trying to cope with being single and being alone. So movie number 1 I would recommend is How to Be Single with Rebel Wilson. It's about a girl that moves to New York City. She gets out of a 4-year relationship because they didn't really know themselves, and she wanted to just kind of find herself again. And I'm not going to spoil it, but basically she finds herself. She ends up being friends with a couple guys that teach her about dating kind of thing, and she becomes best friends with Rebel Wilson, and lives the New York lifestyle kind of thing. And she ends up, doing things that she wants to do. She struggles at first because she's been in a 4-year relationship, didn't really know how to be single. And that's the other thing too, is if you've been in a, couple year to 4-year relationship, it's hard to get back into the single life. It's difficult, right? My longest relationship was a year and a half. I've been in short-term relationships for the most, long-term and short-term. So I haven't really experienced being with someone longer than a year and a half, so I can't really talk or understand how hard that must be. I can imagine it. It would be really hard going from being with someone for years to being alone. It'd be a very, very big, huge transformation. You'd have to get used to being single. So this is a movie I recommend. I've watched it many times because it makes me feel good being single. It makes me feel it makes me feel confident in myself. It makes me want to be single. It kind of gives you that confidence. Oh wow, if she can do it, I can do it, right? So that movie is not on Netflix. The movie channel, the movie website I use to watch movies is called soap number 2 and day.com. It should be on there. A lot of movies that you can't find on Netflix are on there as well. I will actually leave the website below this link today, so you guys can kind of if you guys have a laptop and can hook up an HDMI to your TV, or if you have Chromecast or whatever, this is definitely a movie you could possibly watch. It's an amazing movie. I'll leave the website below this video. Second movie I'd recommend is He's Just Not That Into You with Bradley Cooper. What's her name? There's a lot of Drew Barrymore's in it. A lot of famous actors. Really great movie if you're learning how to date and understand men, and understand women too. It's I personally find it gives you a little bit more knowledge on the rules of dating and the expectations, and it kind of gives you that confidence as well, and it gives you a little bit of knowledge. It's on Netflix, so that's a really good movie. And for me, when I watch that movie, it makes me feel a little bit more confident in the dating world. It teaches you what to do and what not to do. Personally, I don't really follow the dating rules. I just be myself. I'm not really one to play games. I I'm myself, and if that's not enough for someone, ta-ta. Like, I like the movie because there is one girl in that movie that actually gives me a lot of confidence. She kind of she's like really trying to find the right guy, and she's struggling, and she kind of, at the beginning of the movie, I'm not going to spoil it, but at the beginning of the movie she kind of starts to like question herself, and she's like, why aren't guys calling me back? Why don't they like me? Blah blah blah. And she meets a guy that actually tells her the truth about how guys are, and she ends up being the girl that tells him the truth about how girls are, and how he is to women. And she ends up actually just being straight up with this guy at the end, and they click. But I'm not gonna spoil it. I don't want to spoil the movie. But what I really like about this character in this movie is she struggles at first with dating, which is, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not perfect at the whole dating thing either, but she does struggle at the beginning, and then she ends up being like, you know what, like, I'm not gonna play games, I'm just gonna be myself. She has that confidence at the end, and she just is like, you know what, like, I'm a loving person, this is who I am, take it or leave it. And that's kind of like how I am. I'm the kind of person that's like, I'm not gonna, play hard to get. I'm not gonna be distant, and I'm not gonna act like I'm not interested to get you to chase me. I think that's pathetic. I think that we're all capable of loving and being a good person, and I think if somebody cares about you enough, they will accept that, right? So that's a really good movie if you want to learn how to understand dating a little bit. The third one I'd recommend would be, it's not really, I don't know, if I Feel Pretty with Amy Schumer. That's also on Netflix. I like that movie just because it's not. I like that movie because it's based on confidence, and it's about this girl who, because I feel like if you're single, the big thing you want to learn is to love yourself first, and this is a really, really good movie to kind of do that. It's about a girl who feels overweight, and she feels like she's not in a good shape, and she wants to be pretty like these models, and she starts exercising, and she looks in the mirror one day, and without even losing much weight, like, she doesn't even, like, she's like brand new, her whole mindset changes without even like losing a lot of weight. She just stands in the mirror and her whole mindset changes, and she's like, wow, like, I look beautiful. And she starts to accept her body, she starts to accept herself, and she gets all confident and cocky in herself without changing a lot about her image, if that makes sense. And it's an amazing movie because without even feeling like you have to change your whole body, like, you see this confidence in this woman, and she starts to meet people, and she starts to, you know, turn a little too cocky, but, she falls back to who she is, and she just, at the end, she ends up just loving herself. And I would recommend that movie if you're trying to learn to love yourself before you get into a relationship. That would be a really good movie to watch. I personally love that movie. The fourth movie I would recommend on Netflix is called Think Like a Man. That movie is really, most of these movies I am telling you are on Netflix. The only one that isn't is How to Be Single. Think Like a Man, I just recently watched it. It basically puts your perspective in what guys think about, which is a really, really good movie to watch if you're trying to understand men more and you're trying to understand, like, what guys really want. That's an amazing movie to watch. It's about a bunch of different, a bunch of group of people that end up trying to date each other, and this woman tries to put her perspective and understand men, and it's kind of like, you'd have to watch it to understand it more. I just watched it, so I would recommend it. That's more of a movie for women and to understand each other. So if you want to learn what guys think about, that's a really good movie to watch. And then the fifth one I would recommend would be, and Kevin Hart is in Think Like a Man, which I love Kevin Hart. He's a good actor. And then the fifth one this is kind of like a romance, but, like, it's still a good recommendation. It's called Nobody's Fool. It's got the same girl from Girls Trip that plays Dina, the crazy one, kind of like she plays one of the girl's sisters in this movie. It's an amazing movie. It's about a girl that makes she's taught from her mom that she needs to make a list to find the perfect man, but she ends up meeting this amazing guy who does have flaws and baggage, but he ends up being a really, really, really amazing guy. And it basically, I feel like this movie is a really good example for women to understand the difference between having standards and understanding that no one's perfect. Like, you don't want to be too high maintenance, because the more you try to look for a perfection in a man or a woman, you're never going to succeed, because there's no such thing as perfect. At the end of the day, we all struggle. My biggest quality I look for in a man is someone with a very genuine, loving heart. I don't expect someone to be perfect. I just expect the mutual respect and valuing the same things and just being good to each other. That's kind of what's most important to me. At the end of the day, everyone has flaws. That is a really good movie if you're someone that thinks that you have to find someone perfect and think that you have to like make a list. Like, I have a list on my wall of goals that I have. I have, yes, I do have my own manifestation on what I look for in a partner, but I also understand that I don't want a perfect man. I just want somebody who values the same things I do, and we're compatible, and we get along and we work together as a team, because relationships take work every single day. They're not easy. They're never going to be perfect. Relationships are something you have to work at every day to maintain a healthy relationship, right? Um, no one's perfect. You just got to find someone that's, treats you good and as patient as you are, right? And I think Nobody's Fool is a really good movie, because it, at first, she makes this list and she's like, I have to find someone perfect, blah, blah, blah. And then she ends up meeting somebody that's not her typical type, but is a really good guy. Um, and I think that's a really good thing that we all should learn in the dating world is the more you look for perfect, you're never going to find it, because it doesn't exist. You just need to find someone you're gonna be getting along with and compatible with, and someone that respects you like you respect them, right? Like, that's the key. Communication and respect is really the key to a good relationship. Um, but yeah, those are the 5 movies I would really recommend if you're single and you're trying to learn about dating and learn about yourself. Those are my top 5. 4 of those are on Netflix. How to Be Single is on Soap Today. I will leave the link to the website below this video, and you guys can, let me know how you feel about the movies. Watch them. If you're bored, considering we're all kind of quarantined here, I think that would be a really, really good idea for you guys to do some studying and stuff on dating if you're looking for something, and just watching those movies will kind of boost your confidence. So, yeah. Anyways, so the next video I'm going to be doing on will be anxiety and depression. So stay tuned. And then, yeah, just comment and subscribe. Bye.